These homes look great, don't they? And they'll keep looking good for decades without painting or other high-cost maintenance. That's the beauty of using CertainTeed siding. CertainTeed offers the broadest range of color and design options to create the look of true wood craftsmanship. But you get a lot more than good looks. You get performance second to none. CertainTeed siding, it's the most trusted name in the industry.
Shelter Insurance has covered a lot of miles and a lot of cars and drivers since 1946. We like knowing we have you covered, so you can just sit back and enjoy the ride. Seek shelter today.
Call Shelter Agent Nancy Allison for a free auto insurance quote.
Closed captioning provided by eNet, your pay-as-you-go work comp specialists.
The great thing about the finishes at John and Toby's Custom Home is they're simple and timeless. They wanted a bigger house now. They know they can always upgrade those finishes later. So we're putting in just a few basic ceiling fans, a few basic flush mount lights, and the rest of it will be can light system. That really will help them with resale. One, it's simple. Folks won't get caught up in a different style or a certain style that John and Toby have selected because it's really timeless. It'll really help them in the future. They know they can always upgrade it later if they decide to stay here past 5 to 10 years. So it's also really helped us with our timelines. We're under a huge time constraint. When items like finishes are simple, it's easier to install. There's not too many different variations, and we can keep moving on down the line and get us to the June 30th deadline. We just had the inspector come from Boone County and take a look at the finished product here at John and Toby's Custom Home. There were a few items of concern that were brought to our attention. We're going to work on those items today and make sure that we have it ready for a re-inspect. Tomorrow is Wednesday, June 30th. That is the day we have to have our temporary certificate of occupancy to make sure John and Toby get their $6,500 tax credit. A few of the items that were of concern to us were caulking exterior penetrations, putting a tip bracket on a stove, which is very important and definitely a safety issue. The biggest thing though that we ran into were issues with the garage underneath the living space. That has kind of been the Achilles heel on this whole project. Everything brought on more things as the garage project moved forward. For example, anytime that you're in a garage that is underneath the living space, you have to have a 20-minute burn rating on every item throughout the whole garage. So everything has to be mud and taped, which in this particular case, we had outside corners that were not mud and taped. You also have to have a 20-minute burn rating material on any units that are draining into the drain inside the garage. In this particular case, we had PVC coming through the wall. We also had some drain lines from the water softener that were made out of a rubber material. So now the plumber will come back out and the HVAC will come back out and actually put a metal copper pipe, which is a 20-minute burn rating, from the wall into the drain. It also had to be elevated 1 inch above the flood line, which is clearly marked by a 2x4 downstairs. The other issues we had, there was a couple holes in the sheetrock that need to be patched and repaired as far as mud and tape is concerned. And then also we need to fire caulk any penetrations that couldn't be covered with a sheetrock material. So we're gonna go downstairs and start working on those items. Matter of fact, the sheetrockers are already here. As soon as the fire caulk gets here, we're going to go through there with a fine-tooth comb and make sure all the penetrations are taken care of. Other than that, we're set up for another inspection in the morning and hopefully we'll get that temporary CO.
Brought you in part by Carpet One Floor and Home Columbia. Best brands, best service. The one store for your perfect floor. Forum Christian Church, intentionally connecting people to Jesus.
Steve's Pest Control. Now you have a friend in the pest control business.
And Withrow Electric. No job too small.